one beautiful song that we used to sing during the Holy Thursday that I love at the Mass of the Last Supper, the Mandatum, that we used to sing that I love is about the theme of today, to love. This is my will, my one command, that love should grow among you all. Very beautiful song. That this is my will, my one command, that love should grow among you all. If you have love, you are a Christian. So today, the fifth Sunday can be called Agape Sunday. Agape is the Greek word for love. In the encyclical letter, Deus Caritas Est, Deus Caritas Est, it was written by Pope Benedict. God is love. Pope Benedict shows that there are three Greek words for love. Three Greek words for love. The first one is eros. As the name suggests, eros, that's where you have erotic love. So when we talk about eros or erotic love, we think that it's a bad love. It is not totally bad. The only problem with eros as love is that it is selfish. It is the love that loves for himself. So the love loves whatever he loves is because of himself. So, and that is why it is bad. But it is an emotional love also. The second type of love is called philos. Philos. It is the brotherly love. The love that parents have for their children. The love that Christian community have for themselves. They're supposed to have for themselves. At least they love themselves because they are Catholics. Maybe that. I'm sure that you are aware of the incident in my country yesterday or 2 days ago. A young girl was set ablaze because they said she blasphemed in one Muslim community. So they stoned her to death and set her ablaze and killed her. And so they arrested those who did that. Now the city is unrest because the Muslims will not allow those people to be punished. But ordinarily, I feel like we should retaliate. But that will be philos. Why should we retaliate? They are human beings. So philos is brotherly love. It is not a perfect love, but it is higher than erotic love. Eros as love. It is not as selfish as eros, because it gives to the other person. If you show me love, I show you love. That is philos. And there is a city of brotherly love in the United States. I think you know the city of brotherly love. Philadelphia. Philos Adelphos. Brothers love. Philos is love. Adelphos is brother. So the city of brotherly love. Philadelphia. The third type of love is agape. The word agape appears in the gospel passage of today, the last two verses, verse 34 and 35, 4 times. Agape love is sacrificial love. The love that is so selfless, total self-giving, without counting the cost. This is the type of love that Paul, in the letter to the Corinthians, wrote a very beautiful poem about. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, love is this, love is that beautiful poem. If you go to Corinth today, you will see it mounted in the town about love. Self-sacrificing love. This is the type of love that Jesus had for us. And that's why, just as I have loved you, there is no greater love than this, for a man to lay down his life for his friend. That's what Jesus did for us. And that's why the author of the Gospel of St. John says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son." For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. John 3:16. And in the first letter of St. John chapter 3, verse 1, say, "Think of the love the Father has lavished upon us for letting you be called his children." Lavish on us. Jesus lavished God's love on us. So, and that is our identity. By this, the world will know that you are my disciples, if you have love among yourselves. Now, let us ask the question today. What is our Christian identity today? When I was preparing for this sermon, there are a few questions came to my mind. The first one is Antioch. Today, in the first reading, Paul came back to Antioch. You recall in Acts of Apostles chapter 11, verse 26. It was in Antioch that the disciples were first called Christians. Because they were living together like brothers and sisters. They were living the Christian life. And so people saw them and said, "Oh, these people are like Christ." What is our identity today? How do people refer to us today? Unfortunately, Jesus said, "If you keep my commandment," then we refuse to keep the commandment. The most painful thing about Antioch today, this great Antioch, where Paul and Barnabas came back to give the summary of their first missionary journey, the Antioch that was the center of Christian learning for more than 500 years, the Antioch that produced the Christological, put an end to Christological controversies. It was in Antioch that the nature of Jesus Christ was settled, through God and through man. The Antioch that produced saints like John Chrysostom is a Muslim city today. It's in Turkey. It's no longer a Christian city. Why? Because we refuse to live the commandment, love one another. This is what will become of us when we do not live that commandment. When people can no longer point to us as Christians by the way we live. When it becomes odious to be Christians, as we are right now. But let us not lose hope. In the readings of today, St. Paul was passing from one village to another and was strengthening the Christians. And he told them that you must pass through many tribulations before you get into the kingdom. So this is not the end of the story. We can't be strengthened. We can take up ourselves again and say, okay, let us go back to identity. Let us recover our identity. Our identity is love. Love one another as I have loved you. A sacrificial love. A total self-giving. A love that is beyond itself. Not just charity. What we want to do today is let us pay money. Money can do it. No. It's our life. It's life-giving, not money. God could have stayed in heaven and saved us. But he gave himself for us to show the depth of his love. That's what we are invited. And the second reading of today talks about the New Jerusalem, another city. When I was reflecting on this, there were 5 major cities in ancient Christian world. 5 major cities: Jerusalem, Antioch, Constantinople, Alexandria, and Rome. These were 5 patriarchates. They were very central to Christian development and scriptures and life. But whenever the Bible talks about Jerusalem, they talk about the presence of God, heavenly Jerusalem. Because the Jerusalem, the earthly Jerusalem, was the city of the temple, and the temple signified the presence of God. So in the second reading of today, John saw the vision of heavenly Jerusalem. That is, he saw the vision of God, where there is no more sorrow, where God is doing a new thing. And this is our journey. The church is placing that before us today because from next week, we'll be thinking about the ascension of Jesus. And Jesus will be telling us, where I am going, I'm going to prepare a place for you so that you can be there. Our vision is to get there, that heavenly Jerusalem. But the only key to that place is love. If you don't have that key, you can never enter, no matter what you do. In fact, like St. Paul puts it, if you put yourself to be burnt without love, you are nothing. I read the story of one man who died and was not taken to heaven. And the man thought in his estimation that he tried. He received communion regularly, he gave money, he didn't know why he was not in heaven. So he complained to God. In those days, people seem to be able to complain to God when they are not in heaven. Like the rich man and the Lazarus. The rich man complained to God, why is he not in heaven? So this man complained to God, and St. Peter lowered the rope to bring him to heaven, to come and see why he was not in heaven. So as he was climbing the rope, going to heaven to go and see why he was not in heaven, then suddenly, halfway into the journey, he looked down and saw some people climbing the rope again. And he busied himself throwing those people back. Go back, go back, go back. And the rope caught and he went back. And he couldn't get to heaven. All of us, if you want to make heaven, you must have love. And make sure that you are not going alone. If you want to go alone, you will never get there. The guy did not get there because he was busy driving other people back. So as we are struggling to go to heaven, like St. Paul in the first reading of today, let us go to our own Pisidia, Iconium, Pamphylia, and bring people. Missionary, bring the people. Don't go alone. You won't get there. Love is the key to heaven. Let us pray at this month that God will make us love truly. Love one another, love God, so that we can share the beatific vision in heaven.